work and don't mess up. We buried the lead, but look, we have a special guest host today. Yeah, say hi, everybody. You say hi. Hi. Oh, who's coming to see you in a couple days? Who's going to come? Is Ho 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 going to come? Yeah? Hi, everybody. Good Monday morning, the Monday morning before Christmas. We have a special guest host today. Right, Elsie? Yeah. Yeah. Say hi. Say, I got Poppy's microphone. Tell everybody hi. Oh, my goodness. This is the best. See, aren't you glad you joined in today? Aren't you going, really, Amy, I have no time for coffee time. It's the Monday before Christmas. I have wrapping to do and presents to do. And my earring. Yes, they're the ones you picked out. Yeah? Did you like them? You see the red ones? Boo-boo? I have a boo-boo? No, that's a mole. It's called a beauty mark, my mom used to say. I used to say, like, true story, little mole right here. My mom, I always hated it. And my mom says, it's a beauty mark. And I'm like, well, I got the mark, just not the beauty. So I get one or the other. Yeah, you see all the pictures. Okay, so Elsie is loving being at my desk. So how is everybody? So I'm just so excited. We actually, yay! We're so, that's my daddy. That is your great grandpa. That's my daddy. He was a very hard worker. So and that's my Mama Lou. That's my grandma. Here, this is what she's looking at. Pictures I keep by my desk. That's my dad. He was a commercial printer. He had Viking Press printers in Virginia. And that's my grandmom, my mom's mom, Mama Lou. And I keep their pictures. I have other pictures beside me too, but I always kept my dad's there because he was such a hard worker. And it just reminds me to suck it up and not and not complain because he worked 7 days a week, quite literally. I would wake up in the morning and his car would be gone. He'd already be at work. And then I'd come home. He wouldn't be home yet. I'd go to bed half the time. He wasn't home yet. And that's what happens when you own your own business. You don't get a break. So I remind myself by keeping my dad's picture there that sometimes you just got to work extra hard. Are you ready to go back to Mama now? You tell everybody bye-bye. Tell everybody bye. Blow them kisses. Oh, one more. They didn't get it. One more.
You say, I love you.
Boop, boop. Oh, yes. We always do that. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Nope. Okay, go to Mama. Here you go. Hold on. Regular programming. We'll resume in a minute. All right, there you go. Here's your passy, love bug. Right. Okay. All right. See. Bye. Love you.
Love you.
Okay. Isn't that the best? Okay, so clearly I'm just over the moon. I'm very excited for all the things that I'm sad about and struggling with. Oh my gosh, like that is just huge heart healing right there. So they are here, and I think I told you last week that Santa is going to come to Mimi's house this year. They're going to actually spend Christmas with me. So Santa's going to come. So it's been absolutely amazing. They just got here like Saturday night, so we haven't had a lot of time. So I actually did coffee time earlier. Like I had it all prepped earlier in the week. Like as soon as we finished coffee time last week, I kind of got going on getting it prepped for this week so that I could try to enjoy some time because I do have limited time with them, but I want to make sure that I soak in every second of it. So yeah, so she's here. So it's kind of fun. So having some fun time with them. All right, so let me see. Let's see who we got here. I think oh, nope, I didn't. Jim and Cheryl, hello to you. Pam and John, I don't think I said good morning to you yet. See, here's what happens. In the morning when I am trying to say hello to everybody, when I'm trying to say good morning to everybody, I type in, but some of you are still saying stuff. So over in the little chat section, it scrolls faster than I can keep up. So sometimes I've missed some of you that chimed in right away because it just kind of filters down. Anyway, so I don't know what you guys are doing today. Like seriously, you're here. I'm excited that you're here. I know you're busy, so I'm going to try to make it a little bit fun. But if you've got stuff you've got to do, if you were trying to wrap presents while I'm yakking over here, that's fine. If you are trying to prep some food for the holidays, that's fine. just keep this on in the background or come back to it later. I told Elizabeth a little while ago, I was like, okay, as soon as coffee time and the video premiere is over, I have got to clean my kitchen because I was in the middle of doing that yesterday. And then we had a little impromptu visit to Santa, which we'll share with you here in a little bit. But anyway, so, hey, good morning. All right, let's go to our brewing topics because I know that got us what. Oh, you know what? No, we're not. No, we're not. Because a couple things. Obviously, it's the Monday before Christmas, and I was thinking this morning. I got up super duper early, and it was just my brain just woke up early, and then it wouldn't shut off. I'm sure some of you can relate. But I was thinking of some Christmas memories to like share. And there was just, I mean, first of all, there's a gazillion. I have a bazillion of them. And I shared one last week with you about when I was little, when we had the year I got my Fisher Price, what was called Fisher Price. I guess they call it Little People now, but the castle under the tree and how magical it looked when I woke up. But I was thinking of some memories like from when my kids were little, and there really are so many. But there was one I remember, moms do a lot to get Christmas ready. Moms do a lot of prepping and list making and shopping and gathering and organizing and tagging and confirming and ordering and shipping and all of that. But sometimes his dads come in clutch. And I will tell you multiple times, Eric came in as the hero at the last minute. I don't know how it works at your house, if you've got kids or if you remember back to when your kids were little, or if you remember back maybe to when you were little. We could all relate somehow. But the list it was when Allie was little. She was, I don't remember now how old, maybe 4, 5. Her Christmas list to Santa. She had this wonderful list, and Santa was probably going to bring everything she asked for. But at the last minute, she was adamant that she wanted the life-size Barbie. Like the my size Barbie, whatever, the tall one. Looks like a little mini human. She had to have that. And it all of a sudden became this thing that she absolutely wanted. You asked her what she wanted. If anyone asked her what she wanted for Christmas, what Santa was going to bring her, that's what she would say. That, my friends, was not on her original list. So we were worried that we weren't going to get that message to Santa in time to be able to get him to reorganize her gifts. And so Eric decided he would help out. And so he went on a search, the hunt for the Barbie. And I wish I could find the pictures. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I had such high expectations for this coffee time, but I just, I didn't get to all of it. I was like, you know what? I have limited hours in a day and a lot of things to do. But I was going to try to dig up that picture of that Christmas where she had the life-size Barbie. So Santa was very appreciative that we were able, Dad was able to step in. So that was one of the Christmas memories. There was another one where Forrest had this huge racetrack, but we had to set it up in another room. And then there was another one. So when I was a kid growing up, by the way, this is my mug of the day. This is what my sister Jennifer, she and I had a Hobby Lobby outing. We went shopping one day. I know this says Home Goods, but this is another place that I shop all the time. And she and her husband were doing something for work relatively close by. And so on their way back, they wanted to swing by. So they swung by and then we went shopping. And then she gave me this. She gave me a couple things. Although Elsie was playing with it. So now the lid is down here. It's all at my feet. But look at this. So first of all, it's my water today. But then look at this. Have you seen the little mini? I don't have any of these, but this is adorable. It's Pooh Bear, and it's only like a couple inches high. It's adorable, and it's got the little lid and the straw. But Elsie was playing with it earlier because it's perfect size for Elsie. But anyway, so got this mug. Where was I going with this? Hold on. Let me think. Thinking about Christmas. Oh, so Christmas morning. So it was always growing up. When I was a kid, it was always a little bit harried and hectic. You know, we got up, we had Santa, we had our Christmas, and then we went around in the same neighborhood. My grandmom and granddaddy, my Mama Lou and Papa Ray. There's Mama Lou. I have a picture with Papa Ray somewhere. He's in my other room. Mama Lou and Papa Ray. I just called them grandmom and granddad. We would go to their house. They lived in the same neighborhood, just a few streets over. We would have, some Christmas there, and we would have lunch there, and we would do the presents. Then we'd go back to my house, and we would unload and reload, and then we would switch, and then we would go to my granny's house, which was my dad's mom. And my granddaddy had passed away when I was very little. So it was just my granny and then my aunts and cousins and everybody there. So we would go and we would do like Christmas dinner there and more gifts. And it was always very fun, but it was just chaotic. And as a little kid, when you're in the golden years, when you're in the golden magical years as a little kid, and as a parent of little kids in that magical age, you only get a few of them, right? And it would be difficult to get these fantastic toys and all you wanted to do was open them and play with them because Christmas Day is Christmas Day. Even the day after Christmas, while it's wonderful, it doesn't have that same sprinkling and that dusting of magic. And so I remember there was a year when my kids were little. We kind of did the same thing. We got up and we went over to Eric's parents' house. They lived, again, same neighborhood around the corner, very similar to me growing up. And then we would go to my mom's house and see my siblings and cousins and nieces and nephews. And it was quite chaotic. And then there was a year where I was like, I just want to try Christmas and I probably it was selfish, and that's okay because I'm not going to apologize for being selfish. Because I'm not usually selfish. But for that particular year, I was like, I just want to try it differently. I want to let my kids wake up and enjoy the magic of the moment and enjoy the magic of Santa and enjoy the music and the unhurried joy and let them open the presents with no rush, not looking at my watch, not looking at the clock, not worried about the timer on the oven and when we have to sit down to eat because we have to get to the next thing. And I just wanted to experience that once. And I have to tell you, I remember it because it's here. I don't know if my kids remember it, but I will tell you right now that Forrest got Electronic Battleship and we sat there Christmas Day and we played Electronic Battleship a bazillion times. Wouldn't have happened had we not been able to take that moment. Sure, would we have played it the day after Christmas or 3 days later? Yeah, maybe. But once you start to put stuff up, it just kind of goes. So anyway, there's a few little memories. And I hope, I could go on and on. We could do an entire coffee time talking about just a couple of memories. But I hope you guys have both wonderful, truly magical memories from when you were younger. Whether it was extreme and grand or whether it was a little bit more subdued and intimate and frugal, either way, I hope those memories were magical. And I hope that if you've had kids, if you've experienced that already, that you're either experiencing it now and you know what that's like, or, that you can reflect back, on those memories just like, I do. And that's kind of what I'm trying to flood my mind with. Part of it too is Elizabeth has been working on the slideshow thing. I don't know if it's presentation, but slideshow thing for Eric's celebration of life in January. And so it's meant that I've had to pull out of storage all of the scrapbooks and try to find where I put everything when I moved. And so pulling out some of those have just brought back so many memories. So they're wonderful ones. So I'm excited about that. Okay, so let's get going with our brewing topics for today. And I don't even know all the Oh gosh. Oh, look, everyone say, oh gosh, there's so many of you have popped in. I haven't said good morning yet. I'm so sorry. So we see everybody's talking to Elsie. She's going to love to see all of your lovely wishes to her. All right, let's go to our brewing topics for today. Okay, so our brewing topics for today. Merry Christmas, obviously. Winter maintenance. I know, not very Christmassy, but I will tell you it's important, and I'll tell you why this is a topic. And then what is your elf name? Pam is saying, why am I not seeing any comments? Pam, I don't know, love. I'm seeing a bunch of them. You guys can chime in over there in the little chat bar, but I'm seeing everybody's. Excuse me. I know we've had a few people pop in. Shafiq, I did say good morning to you. Shafiq sent me a picture too right before we started. So Jane, first of all, I'm so happy that Jane is here today because Jane sent me a message yesterday saying, oh, I think I might be shopping with my mom. And so I don't know if I'm going to be able to be on coffee time, but will you please tell all of our Heart and Home family, our coffee time family, that she wishes everyone a Merry Christmas. But then she texted me and said, hey, plans changed. I might be there. So Jane, we're so happy that you're here. Obviously lots of love and hugs to you guys. I still think that my daughter is a rock star. I'm looking at how Allie has configured all of this stuff. and how, depending on where you are watching, with it, whether or not it's Richmond or Orlando, that or anywhere else, but from whichever YouTube channel you're watching this, that I'm responding to you accordingly. Ugh, that's so cool. Jay, good morning to you. I don't think I said good morning to you. Wilderness, you guys, good morning. Did I get anybody else? Pam, did you ever get the and Kathleen, good morning to you too. Oh, Debbie, oh my gosh, there's so many, look at all of you people. Hello, I love all of you. Okay, let's get going to the first topic, which is Merry Christmas. Okay, so I'm going to try to tie in a little personal with every little topic that we have today. So Merry Christmas, letters to Santa. This is actually a conversation I just had with a client. I got to take another sip, sorry. It's just water today. I've already had my coffee. So letters to Santa. This is actually referencing a closing. Gosh, my glasses are dirty. A closing that I have coming up on the 26th. Yeah, I know, right? The day after Christmas, I have a closing. It's my listing, not my house, but one of my listings. And my client had reached out and said, hey, what do we do about the mail? Because their new house is not ready yet. So they can't do mail forwarding to the new property because it doesn't, according to the mail, it doesn't exist yet. But you don't want to have it continue to, mailed to your previous address once you close on it, because that's not your house anymore. And while, yes, no matter how much you change that or do the mail forwarding or that, mail's still going to trickle through. This year, the beautiful family that purchased my house, the house that Eric and I had, she actually messaged me maybe a week ago and said, hey, you've got some Christmas cards here. Do you want me to send them to you? So even if you do mail forwarding, stuff still doesn't make it sometimes, or it wears off. So here's my suggestion. If you don't know where you're going yet, if you've sold your existing home or it's going to close more than a day or two before you move into your new property, then you should probably get a P.O. box number. Just go to your local post office, get a P.O. box number, and get that. I've only done that maybe once or twice in my life, so I'm not an expert on that, but you can ask them, explain the situation. I don't know how much it costs. I don't know if you can do it monthly or weekly. If any of you know, please feel free to share with our little family here. But I'm sure you can do it for a short period of time, and I'm sure it's not too terribly expensive, so that you don't miss any important mail. And I promise you're going to end up missing something important if you don't make arrangements. If it's for like a week and you're not expecting anything super important, then you might be able just to stop the mail and let the post office collect it for you. And then once you move in, go pick it up and then forward it to your new address. But my suggestion, if in like their case, it's going to be several months worth of living in a temporary location, but not to the point where you would want your mail delivered there, then my suggestion is get a P.O. box number. Now, how that relates to letters to Santa. Well, obviously, if you have little ones and you're moving around the holidays, that's why it's important too. Not that Santa's going to be returning your mail, but just understand that Santa's going to know where you are, because Elsie they took great measures to make sure that Santa knew that Santa needed to come to Mimi's house this year. It was a special year. Now, on that note of mail, now I think, Allie, we never got the little video clip that I was going to do from Santa's Toy Factory. Maybe another day, maybe another time. It's not that great. The video quality back then was not the greatest. It was all done on those big cameras with like the VHS tapes, and over time they get really bad. But I did find it. I could probably give you the link to it, and if anyone really wants to see it. But that particular year, Eric and I were dating, smitten. Like I was like, oh gosh, like he's my person. In fact, that's why I took the job of Winterfest at Kings Island, which is in Cincinnati, Ohio. King's Productions was based in Cincinnati, Ohio. So KI, or Kings Island as they called it, was their main park. And they had an amazing way that they did a whole process for their live entertainment, for their entertainment department and their shows. But one of the things that they had, now a lot of parks have it, but to my knowledge, they were like the only one that had what they called Winterfest. And it was where the park was opened. I don't know if the full park was open, but a lot of the rides were open and everything was redecorated. Everything kind of like Disney with Christmas and everything. Everything was decorated. In fact, I remember going early the year that I did it, which I can't remember the year. 91, 92. Well, I don't know. Can't remember. But what was really fun about that is I have an actual thing here I wanted to share with you. So Eric and I were dating. The reason I did Winterfest that year is that Eric was doing a DoD tour. It was a Department of Defense tour. He was out entertaining the troops. It was 3 or 4 guys and 4 or 5 girls. And they were all singers who could dance pretty well. And so they had a show, and they toured the Middle East back then. The one place they did not get to go that was on their itinerary was Greece. There was some issues there at the time, so they canceled that part. But he ended up being stuck in, where was he? Stuck in Italy for Christmas. They went to the Vatican, I believe. Anyway, he would tell these amazing stories. And unfortunately, there's not like a heck of a lot of great photos because, again, technology was way back then. Let me try that again. Technology way back then was not as great. It wasn't as easy to take pictures and to brighten them or lighten them or zoom them in a little bit, just all from your phone. But so here's where I'm going with this. So I was in a show called Santa's Toy Factory. I was Stitch the Elf, and our whole premise of our show, let me go back to the full screen. The whole premise of our show was that we were all the elves working at Santa's Toy Factory. Santa was there. He was obviously making an appearance. And we had some issues with the machine that was making the choo-choo trains, the baby dolls. Like there was just some issues. We had all these lists were coming in at last minute. It was crazy. Well, just because we worked at Santa's Toy Factory, we also were able to receive mail, right? Of course we were. We're Santa's elves, so we could still get mail. So there was a section in the show that led up to one of the big numbers where one of the elves came in pushing a big mail cart, and he would say, mail call, and he would call out who was getting mail for the day. So my late husband, always taking things beyond what you would expect. He actually sent me this letter. This is it. I want you to look. This is the actual, I'm not going to read the letter to you because that's a little bit personal, but this was the letter. You see that it's to me with all the red arrows, but he mailed it to Alex Oteza, which by the way, hugely successful in Vegas. Oh my goodness. We went and performed with some amazing, amazing people. But anyway, Alex was in the same show that I was in, and that was his role. He would come in and he would say mail call, pushing that mail cart, and he would pull out the letters. Now, the letters were all props, guys. They were all just props. However, the day that he called, he's like, Stitch, and I just come over, my choreography, I come over and I grab my letter that was, again, a prop. Alex hands me this letter, and I look at it, and I'm on stage. I'm performing at the moment, and I see that this is from Eric. Eric has mailed an actual, I'm getting chilly bumps right now. He had mailed a letter. Where was this one from? I don't know that we can actually, I can't tell. I don't even know. You guys, can you look? Can you tell where that's from? I don't know if you can. Anyway, so he sent this to Alex. He literally mailed this to Alex's house and had Alex put it in the mail cart for our show for that scene. And then I got this letter. Now I'm on stage and I'm performing, and all I want to do is open this letter because remember, guys, this is before cell phones. This is before computers and email. You didn't know. If he was out in the Middle East, I didn't know what was going on if it weren't for these letters. And I was writing to him every day too, but he never got mine until the last day. That's another story for another day. But anyway, suffice it to say, I was super duper thrilled that my letter, not from Santa, but from Eric, made it from wherever he was this particular day to Alex's apartment, because we all had short-term apartments doing our gig at Winterfest, and then gave it to me. And then this is what happened to it. I take this letter, this exact letter that's in my hand that I still have a gazillion trillion years later. I take this and I'm like, so I didn't want to throw it back with the rest of the props. So I ran off stage like I do in the show. I laid it down, and this letter fell between the slats of the stage into the abyss. And I saw it go. I was like, oh my gosh. So I could not wait for the show to be over. I just needed that show to be done so that I could get my letter. And then when I realized what happened to it, Do you know that those technicians of that show dug this letter out for me because I was just back there just crying and crying because I wasn't able to read the letter because it had fallen through the slats. They got me my letter, and here it is today, my friends. This is my letter from Eric. And that was where we lived, I guess, some place in Lebanon, Ohio, when we did our gig at Winterfest. So anyway, so there you go. There's Christmas related number one. So crazy story. I know, a little, maybe too much information, but I did read the letter the other day. I've got all of them. I've got all the things that he sent me, especially the things when he was over. But yeah, this was, I don't know, and Karadaki in Venice. I don't know. The Hotel Yukaran. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. That's my letter from him. So anyway, all right. So let's move on to topic number 2. I know that was like probably a little bit crazy. Let's see. A couple of things. Let's see. 2 more camper vanners. We'll be thinking of you guys and raise a glass to you all. And of course, Eric with a chorus of Hamlin. Oh, Hamlin. Actually, I found everything. You want to do Hamlin real fast? Maybe it's not. There it is. I learned where those buttons are. Now I'm just so scared to touch a daggone thing. If we mess up, it's okay. I love you. Anyway, thank you guys. That's awesome. Yes. Tracy, you have to write down all these memories down and record them for your grandchildren to read later. Oh, you know what? That's a great idea, Tracy. I think I will. Elizabeth, I love that story. Are we talking about this story? Are we talking about my letter? Yeah, it was really fun. In fact, you know what's funny? When I found this, when I found my whole, hold on. When I found my my little zippy pouch with all my, it's like a little basket that has a zipper on it. When I found all of the letters, I read some of them and then I had to stop because, you just bits and pieces, right? But when I found this, I actually sent Alex a message through Facebook. I was like, Alex, do you remember this? And he remembered immediately what this was. Just how cool is that though, right? I probably didn't tell the story very well, but in my head, it's just so completely visual. All right, brewing topic number 2. What is our brewing topic number 2? Let's see, what was it? It was, winter maintenance. This is not very exciting, but again, stems from real life. So I had the day that my sister came to visit, right before she got to my house, she was a little bit frazzled. And I was like, what's going on? What's wrong? And she's like, well, I just got a message from, I think she said it was like a neighbor who used to be a police officer or something. Anyway, somebody was at her door, which she could see through the camera, but she didn't want to respond to anyone because their cars were in the driveway because they were, in a different vehicle. She didn't want them to know that she was not at home by talking through the little Ring doorbell type thing. Anyway, long story short, the neighbors had noticed that there was water gushing out of her front porch, the water spigot. And so she was freaking out. And of course, she couldn't get home fast enough to find out what was going on. And we're like, well, we hope it's just a small thing. And that kind of led to winter maintenance. And she laughed because I said, well, did you insulate your water spigots? Did you put the little, the little koozie cover thingies on them to kind of, because that's what you do when you live places where it's cold. Now, those of you that live in really cold places, I'm only referencing like back from Virginia days, that there are certain things. Even in Florida, you will get temperatures that dip, but you don't really have to worry so much about pipes bursting because of frozen stuff. But in other states you do, and she's in Virginia, and so yeah, absolutely, she needed to have done that. And I think she said they have the little covers, but her husband had not put them on yet. And so that just kind of got to the topic of winter maintenance. So no matter where you live, whether you live in a tropical climate like Florida, or whether you live in a milder, mid climate like Virginia, or whether you live in a place where it is just freeze your panties off cold, you still have some required winter maintenance things that you should do, even if it's just because it spurs that reminder in your mind to take care of your home. Remember, no matter where you live, whether it's your big dream home or whether it's your first starter home, it is probably one of the largest, if not the largest investment you're going to make in your lifetime. And certainly, even if it's your first starter home and it's less expensive than the one that you're going to end up buying, 10, 15 years from now, it's irrelevant. It's important to maintain and to take care of that asset, to take care of that investment. So here's a few winter maintenance tips for you. So first of all, you should always do, and we mentioned this in the fall too, candidly, in my opinion, I think anytime there's a seasons change, if you live in an area where you have gutters or you need gutters or they're kind of essential to the drainage and the flow and roof and everything, that you should make sure that those get checked or get gutter guards, do some things that you need to do to kind of keep those smooth and unobstructed by dirt, debris, dust, leaves, twigs, anything else that may fly into it. So make sure you clean those gutters and the downspouts. Inspect your roof. I'm not saying you have to pay for a roof inspection every time the seasons change, but if you did not do it earlier, it's a good time to make sure that you prep before the winter. Those places where you do get a lot of snow, that's a lot of extra added weight and water to your roof. So you want to make sure that, the shingles are not blistered up or that they're not missing. You can live in Florida. We have a lot of blistered shingles because of the heat, because of poor applications sometimes. But remember, in Florida, your roof is getting pounded with that heat all the time. And when you get the hurricanes, you get the winds. And then you get the rain when it comes down and those massive, massive, massive thunderstorms that just kind of just dump just a lot of water at a very short period of time. So again, no matter where you live, every climate is going to have their pros and cons and the things that they need to work with. And so no matter what, your roof is the biggest protector of your house. So make sure that you're doing some just, roof maintenance, whether you get it inspected, whether you have a drone and you kind of do that, or whether you get up on there. I don't think people nowadays should be getting up there on the roof, but if you can, go for it. Caulk, grout, and other sealants. It's another good time, winter maintenance. You can probably sometimes feel when you need to do grout and caulk. You might even sense the cold air in some of those places. So things like that, that means it's not sealed up very well. Go ahead and make sure you have grout and caulk and that you can, reseal when you need to. If you do it bit by bit when you notice it, or when you, if you don't have time to do it bit by bit, you're like, okay, well, let me just keep a list going, then do that. When my clients close on homes, I tell them, especially new construction homes, I'm like, keep a running list. Just because we did a walkthrough and then we did the final walkthrough doesn't mean that you're not going to find something the day after you move in. That's just the way it works. The house is not perfect. And there are a lot of things that aren't going to reveal themselves until you start living in it a little bit. So, so keep a list going. Oh, need to touch up caulk in secondary sink in guest bathroom, whatever. Make a little note and then, either file that under the warranty if that's a warrantable item with the builder when the time comes. Or if it's a resale home, then same thing. Just kind of keep a little list going and then go, okay, seasons change. Am I going to do it winter maintenance? Am I going to do it in spring when we spring clean? Am I going to use that time to clean the windows and make sure everything is looking good? And then I'm going to reseal and recalk. Those are some things to do there. Insulate outdoor spigots. That's what we just talked about. That's what prompted this entire brewing topic. Flush the hot water heater. If you don't know about flushing a hot water heater, they tell you to do this. And I have to tell you, I finally did it. I did it at our previous house because I knew it was a required maintenance. It's one of those things that you want to do. And now if you have tankless water heaters, it's potentially a little bit different. But if you have your typical big hot water heater or water heater out in your garage, you'll notice at the bottom there's a little place for you to hook up your hose and look up. I'm not going to tell you, I don't want to tell you how to do it, but I'm going to tell you it should be done. So look up from trusted professionals how you can just drain your own hot water heater and make sure that you drain it out. Let that sludge and that gunk from the bottom go out. It'll help eliminate that building up. And then just be aware that when you do turn it back on and that tank does fill back up, the first few times that you turn on the water faucets in your house, it's going to go splurt, 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 splurt. And you're going to think you ruined your house. You didn't. It's just that you drained the tank. Now you filled it back up. You got to refill all of the pipes and the plumbing. All right. Schedule your HVAC maintenance. Again, if you have not had your system maintained, I highly encourage everybody, no matter where you live, no matter how old or new your house is, to schedule a HVAC maintenance with a company, a reputable company, and that basically they're going to come out twice a year and they will do the maintenance on the system and make sure everything is checked, everything is running. If you're low on something, they'll fill it. If you need to clean something, they'll let you know. And on that note, I'll tell you this here in a minute too, but schedule your HVAC maintenance. Set the thermostat for energy efficiency. How many of you have a smart home, right? Where you have the Nest thermostat, or you've got all of these things where you can adjust it from your phone, and they talk about the energy savings and the efficiency of when you go to sleep at night, you can change the temperature. If you work out of the house for the majority of the day, if you're gone and you're out of the house from 9 to 5, adjust your thermostat to maximize the energy efficiency and to minimize your bill. I don't know how to do that because I'm of the generation where I literally bought a new TV the other day because the small one that I had in the guest room decided to stop working, and I wanted to make sure that Elizabeth and Steele and Elsie had a TV working for them. So I went last minute, grabbed a new TV, came in, plugged it in, and I'm like, why doesn't it just work? Why can't I just start changing channels? And it's like, nope, you got to register it. You got to download this. You got to do the QR code and do this on your phone. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to plug in the TV and have it turn on and change the channels. It's not that hard. Why are things so hard nowadays? Anyway, but if you have a smart home, I digress. If you have a smart home, check your thermostat. Go figure out how to do those settings to maximize the energy efficiency, which will help minimize your bill. And don't forget, did you know, my friends, did you know with ceiling fans that in the winter, you're supposed to reverse the fan blade rotation to help push down the heat because we know heat rises. So when you change, and it's not I don't think it's the click button. Usually on the base, well, again, this is me being old, so I don't know how they do it now. But the ceiling fan, the base, the motor of it, there's usually a little button that goes up or down on the side. And one way, we'll have the fan blades go one way. And then if you do it the other direction, the fan blades reverse. And that's a way to help circulate the air or to help keep the heat down where the living space is. So if you didn't know that, there you go. And then one other thing, did you know, you probably didn't know, because there's so many things that I've done. But did you know that we have our own Heart and Home Orlando, that I'll do one for Heart and Home Richmond too, our own home maintenance survival guide. This is just, I just printed this one real fast, but we have them bound and everything. So it's a home maintenance guide. It kind of goes through this stuff, your monthly checklists. Well, there's a picture of me. Who cares about that? But monthly checklist talks about cleaning your AC vents. So a critter watch, but meaning things that you need to watch out for that may crawl up, especially in Florida, things that will crawl up. This one is this is a yearly, again, specifically for Florida, but updating those for different areas. Do that for Richmond as well. So anyway, interesting, right? Did you know I had that? I forgot I had that. I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of things that Eric and I did, and we worked on and did a lot of things together that I just, it's been a year. Let's just say it's been a year. Okay, let's go to, went for my glasses. Let's go for brewing topic number 3. But before we do that, I'm going to pop back in. Pam says, Pam says one of our bathroom pipes froze back in New Hampshire when we lived there. Luckily, they didn't burst. See, as I'm saying, yeah, Jane says you're lucky. Yep. And Allie, as a reminder, thank you for liking the stream. Don't forget to give it a like. Make sure you subscribe with notifications on. And then Dave, I haven't said good morning to you yet, sir. Good morning to Dave. Dave says, good morning, everyone. Just joined. Okay, well, good. Okay, since you just joined in, I don't feel bad because I didn't mention it earlier. So now, good morning to you, my friend. Jay, we have a maintenance company we use, and they offer memberships, which includes AC and heat checks. Totally worth it as we are clueless about home maintenance. Jay, your comments are always so spot on. Yes. So here's the thing. There are certain things that we don't know about, right? I am not an expert at certain things, but there are people who are. That's what you do. If you're not an expert on something, if it's something minor and you can figure out how to do it, then fantastic. But when it is one of the largest mechanical element of your home, I'm not going to look at a YouTube video and try to fix it. I'm going to get a professional in there. Yes, do they upcharge it? Yeah, probably. But that's why you get people like my dear friend Ronnie Alcantara with Keeping It Cool AC there in Florida, giving you a shout out. He was a former client and friend and neighbor. And that's who helps many of my clients. It's always out there helping in emergencies. But to your point, Jay, it's not always about the AC. It's about the heat. So when we talk about your, the topic, right, of winterizing your home, it's not just about making sure the AC works for those in the warmer climates, but it's making sure that the heat system is also going to be working properly, so that you don't find yourself in a situation where we get a huge winter blizzard snowstorm and you're not prepared. Because trust me, having grown up in Virginia, the weather can be, well, first of all, it's beautiful, but it can be fickle. It could be like freezing, snowing 5 inches one day, and then 2 days later it's 71. So you just don't know when and where those things are going to happen. So it's always best to be prepared. All right, brewing topic number 3. This is a fun one, okay? So get your fingers ready because you have to do some work on this one. This one is, what is your elf name? So let's figure out what your elf name is. So it's very easy. I just took this from the internet. We do stuff like this for kids all the time, but we're grown-ups. Now, this isn't a grown-up version, so don't read into it. I'm just saying, although that would be funny. Okay, one of you needs to create the grown-up version for your elf name, but that's not what this one is. So the first letter of your first name, so mine would be A for Amy, and so that means I'm going to be Peppy. And then the birth month, my birthday is in January, so that means mine is going to be Sparkly Pants. So my elf name is Peppy Sparkly Pants. So I would like all of us to type in our elf names, and I will start. La 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 la. Are you going in? Everybody looking? Because I know you're all like a minute, or not a minute, but a few seconds fine. So I am Peppy Sparkly Pets. That's my name. That's me. All right. So tell me. Oh, Happy Peppermint. Love it. Look at these. Peppy Butternut. Love it. Allie Lim. Peppy Butternut. Happy Peppermint. I'm Peppy Sparkly Pants. Yeah, Peppy Sparkly Pants. Twinkly Little Feet. Oh, that's adorable. Happy Little Feet. I'm Shining Sparkly Pants. Love it. Happy Pointy Ears. Okay, these are awesome. So keep them coming because that makes me happy. Bubbly Shooting Star. Happy Glitter Toes. Sorry, this is just fun. This is really, really, really cute. Speaking of cute, okay, we're not going to have the big conversation about. I'm going to give you guys time. Keep popping in. Even later on, even if you're not watching this with us right now, that's totally fine. I'm trying to look what time it is. Ooh, 9:44. Even if you're not watching it right now, please message in those comments what your elf names are, because I'm awake kind of. I've told you before, nighttime is very hard, so I'm awake very late at night. I might be in the bedroom with the TV on, but I might be scrolling the phone, or I'll go back in and I'll look at comments and stuff. So go ahead, comment in. But let me see, we got a couple more. So we had Happy Glittery Toes, Bubbly Shooting Star, Bubbly Tipsy Toes. Love that one, Kim. That's fun. Pam, by the way, were you able to see the comments? And are all of you seeing comments? I think you are, because you're kind of responding to each other. But so let's see. Let me pick a few people. So let's see. My son would be, Forrest would be Jingly Sparkly Pants. Let's see. Dawson would be Mary Little Feet. Let's see. Who else do we have? Let's see. My mom would be Mary Snowball. There's a Snowball. We haven't had any of those. Mary Peppy Bouncy Twinkly. Dave Howell. Is that really real? Can you be all of that? I love that. Bubbly Tipsy Toes. Okay, Kim. I think Kim is the winner. I love it. Bubbly Tipsy Toes. That one just gets me. Angela. Peppy Crusty Tinsel Twinkly Smelly Peppy. Okay, now you guys are just adding them in there. That's so cute. Oh, okay. Pam says you're on the Richmond channel. Okay, I got you. Okay, cool. All right. Anyway, that was fun. I like that. Okay, so we have a few minutes left. I have the other topics we need to go through. And don't forget, we're also going to be doing another video premiere, which we'll just go ahead and we'll get to that one in a second. But let's go to secrets. Okay, so real quick, I just wanted to mention this because this time of year, I mean, it's a little late now to get you closed by the end of the year, unless you're cash, and even then, I think it'd be difficult. But builders have been throwing out. The number of emails and text messages and phone calls I get from some builders and the builder site agents, what they are throwing out there as incentives are kind of are a little bit ridiculous. They're quite extreme. But again, that would be to get you to close by the end of 2025. And I think at this point we're kind of pushing that. So I don't think we're in that window anymore. But this is what I want to make sure you kind of think about when you think about a buyer agent or having an agent going with you through the new construction process. Because there's a lot of things that the realtor can and will be able to do and help with, and there's a lot of things that we can't. Because this is a builder, this is a company, you're building from dirt, it's a little bit of a different process. But the one thing you need to remember is that when you go into a new construction model home or a sales center, I know you know this, but I have to remind you, and we'll talk a little bit more about this next time we meet, which, by the way, not next week, because I'm going to take next week off. I hope that's okay. And I would like you to take next week off too. And if you don't have anything else to do on Monday morning at 9 o'clock, then grab yourself a cup of coffee and just sit there and kind of reminisce and think of some fun memories that you can share with us the next time. But think about it this way. The builder's rep is the salesperson. They are trying to sell you a house. Your buyer agent is not trying to sell you a house. We're helping you find your house. So I know that, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but our job as a buyer agent is to not just, it's to make sure that you're not swayed like, oh gosh, there's a $25,000 closing cost contribution and they're doing this and they're doing that and they're doing this. But basically everything you told me on your wish list, that wasn't, the incentive is fantastic, but the home is not, it's missing 3 of the large boxes you needed to be checked off. And the area is about 15 minutes further than where you said you wanted to be. So part of it, not that you can't still buy it, but our job is to make sure that we are your advisor, that we're saying, hey, you know what, this is really, really good. The number of times that I've had a client, we've gotten the incentives, or the site agent was able to like give us a contingency they wouldn't otherwise get. That's when, as the advisor to you, I can tell my client, look, and I say this a lot, it does not matter to me what home you buy. I don't care if you buy A, B, C, or D from this builder, that builder, resale, or resale. That does not matter to me. What matters to me is that you get the right home for you. And I'm telling you that for this particular home and this particular builder incentive, this is amazing. This is a really, really, really good deal. So if this is one of those that you feel like can be your home, then as your advisor, I think it is fantastic. You're not going to get better than this. And that's where sometimes trusting that other voice of reason, that, that buyer agent that you've entrusted to help, can give you that peace of mind and confirm with you, yeah, like we can keep looking, but if we keep looking, we're not going to find anything better. You want that lot. That lot is extra long. It's extra deep, has no rear neighbors. They've got this great incentive. It's newer on in the, like whatever the situation is, having that buyer agent or that advisor help confirm for you and give you that peace of mind. Or conversely, be the voice of reason and come back and say, hey, look, this is a fantastic opportunity. The builder's got some great incentives, but it is 15 minutes longer to get to your job, and it's missing that guest bedroom, and the primary is upstairs and you want it on the first floor. So if you're okay with all of those boxes not happening for you, then it's a fantastic deal. So I literally have had to bring my clients back to budget multiple times. Not that you get to spend your money, it's your money, but I'm just reminding them, don't get swayed. Make sure you know that you said you wanted to be capped out here. If you go this route, it's going to be more. If you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. So anyway, I think that's important to note. Okay, I'm going to keep on going here. Look at all this. Oh wait, Tracy says, can I change my name? It's not appropriate for a family YouTube channel. Oh my gosh, Tracy, I'm worried. Tracy, did you ever type what yours was? Oh gosh, she's intrigued us. Now we're all going to have to go in and try to figure out what one Tracy says. Angela says she loves the elf thing. Going to use that for the family. Yeah, it's kind of fun, right? Jane says you deserve a holiday too, Amy. Thank you, Jane. I appreciate it. I will say, the reason I'm not, and trust me, Allie and I were back and forth as to, if we should do it or not do it. And, the answer is we should always do it. I always hear Eric in the back of my mind. Yes, but because where Christmas lands in the week, the fact that I've got Elizabeth, Elsie, and Steele with me, and then I don't have them like forever. They're gonna have to head back, and then I just felt like I'd rather not spend one of my days that I could be looking at my family and sharing time with them, worried about figuring out my brewing topics. And I hope you understand that. I don't love you any less. I love you as much as I could possibly love you, but I'm going to take some time and enjoy being around them. But so thank you, Jane. That makes me feel better that you guys aren't mad at me. Okay. Pam says, I wish when we built, we realized we could have had an agent. We know now for next time. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. They really don't know. And it's kind of like, there's a lot of people who don't understand how the new construction process works. So I'm going to do a whole series on that in the new year, I promise. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go. All right, so let me move on to some of our next ones because this one is so exciting. All right, we have to have I need everybody, wherever you are, whatever time you're watching this, to do a big applause for Jim. We did it, guys. The short sale disaster that was supposed to have closed October 14th finally closed on December 19th. It was an absolute Christmas miracle. Jim, I am so excited for you. I said, we need that picture with the keys, baby. We got to have that. It's confirmed. He did close on the home. It did not go without glitches, even until the last minute, even at the last final walkthrough, when the seller left things in the home that should not have been left there, like perhaps a stripper pole, just saying. Anyway, I'm just saying. They just do the pole stuff. No judgment. It's a great workout. I've heard. I don't know if that would not be me. Anyway, congratulations to Jim. I just want to say congratulations. That man was an absolute trooper. Unbelievably kind, patient, respectful, courteous, appreciative, yieldable. I don't know if that's a word. He was so accommodating as everything went against him. Not against him, against the short sale. Time and time and time and time, setback. Absolutely a nightmare. And I will tell you, we'll talk more about this in the new year. Your lender matters. We've had a topic about that before, but way too much to talk about today. But I will tell you, Bruce Woodburn with Cross Country Mortgage, absolute hero, as he always is for all of my clients. Absolutely. I'll go into more detail later, but oh my goodness, thank you. We also have 2 more closings coming up here. Forrest and Caroline are going to be closing on their beautiful new home out in St. Augustine, and Jeff and Angela getting ready to close on their beautiful. So Forrest and Caroline purchasing, Jeff and Angela selling. So Jeff and Angela getting ready to close on their beautiful Horizon West home that went under contract, over asking in one day, one showing. In a market where, I don't know, things are just going slow. They're closing on December 26th. Yeah, I know, crazy, right? So congratulations to all of them. Super, 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 super proud. All right, let's go real quick to those. Yeah, I'm going to go to Scoop. Yes, Allie, thank you. Allie is so good. She gave me my time check. By the way, I want to, Allie, can you answer in here? Do we have the 5-minute buffer again when we finish here, coffee time, whenever that is, and the premiere for the video, which is going to be a beautiful model home called the Augusta floor plan. Absolutely beautiful. This is a gorgeous decorated model. I'm going to show that to you. That's going to be premiering right after coffee time. Allie, do we have a 5-minute buffer? Let me know. And then we also have another video on Wednesday. This will be the end of the Homes for the Holiday series for this year. Maybe we'll do it again next year. But thank you for helping me get Heart and Home Richmond off the ground. Always still with Heart and Home Orlando. So this week we have, as we have had every week, we've had a little bit of both. We have premiered the Heart and Home Richmond ones just because, again, we're trying to get that channel off the ground, give it a nice launch. Thanks to you guys. We've been doing good with that. Thank you. But today's a beautiful Augusta model home. And then we also have the Avalon with the extended bonus, one of my absolute favorite plans by Dreamfinders. That one is actually out in Mineola, which is in Florida. So we have both happening today. And And so, yes, Allie says, just in case you're wondering, Allie has confirmed that, yes, we do. We have a 5-minute countdown, starts at 10 o'clock. So at 10:05 is when the video is going to start. So what we do is we finish here in a couple of minutes. And then you're going to go potty. You're going to go refill your coffee, or you're like me, go grab a Diet Coke. I haven't had breakfast yet, so I might grab a half a bagel, and I'm gonna come back in, and then we're gonna watch the premiere, final week of our Homes for the Holidays, and then we're gonna enjoy that time together. Okay, I'm gonna zoom. I'm gonna zoom. Let's do this one. Okay, so we attempted to get the kids together to go see Santa. And unfortunately, when we went in to go see Santa, he was on his sleigh literally scrolling on a phone. So I don't know if that's the new Santa, but I guess he's had to go with technology as well. Neither of the babies were having anything to do with it, which was expected, because at that age, again, keep in mind, they're only, 18 months, 19 months, 19, 20 months, right around there. So they're still a little bit, they recognize Santa, they can say ho, 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 but when you see the Santa in real life, it can be a bit overwhelming. So that was the picture we got. So that's going to be a lovely memory. I absolutely adore them. And they both had matching shirts on that says nice list. Mimi may have bought them, perhaps. All right, got to go to what I'm watching. Okay, so I know this is a lot. I know, but I have to explain to you why. I gotta go so fast. Okay. Oh, what fun. If you have not watched this, I think, okay, it's on Prime. Amazon, yes, it's Prime. I watched this the other day, Michelle Pfeiffer. If you are a mom, if you have been the one in your life, everyone, probably goes through this, the person who puts the whole Christmas together, and they shop and they make the list and they get the food and they prep the food and they make the magic and they wrap the presents and they do this and they do that and they make it as magical as they possibly can. You will love this movie. It's hysterical. So watch that. Home Alone, I watched that because my sister reminded me that I should watch it, and I had not watched it since a gazillion years. My personal favorite movie is called The Holiday. There's also going to be The Holiday 2, which I don't think comes out till next year, but I'm super excited about that one. I've loved that movie. And then as far as series, I've watched these recently, and I haven't mentioned them. So if you're looking for something non-holiday related, I watched a movie called Life After Life. Basically, she kind of keeps being reborn, and she keeps making decisions and doing things differently, which is kind of cool. And then I also watched Crimson Field, which I did that it was a little binge thing, and I loved it. All right, we're almost done. We got to switch over. I'm going to do this. I'm going to tell you how much. Oh, I didn't even get to here. I'm going to do my Christmas thing. Hold on. I'll have to do it later. I love you. I'm going to do all of that. Well, actually, you know what? I got 5 minutes, so it's going to count down. Let me do that real fast. Let me do my cup. Okay, real quick, here's my holiday message to you. Come back, read this if you're not able to read it now, because we're getting ready to start the countdown for our final premiere on Monday, premiere for our Homes for the Holidays. But here's a Christmas message to you guys, how much I love and adore you. I appreciate you more than you know. I say that every week, but you just need to know it is genuinely from the bottom of my heart. I don't know that I could do this without you guys. So thank you for being a part of my life, and I hope you all have a wonderful, truly magical, joyful, blessed, filled with love and laughter and lots of memories. And I will see you guys over at the premiere.